Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first official episode of the Grayscale podcast. I'm your host, Herb. I'm here with my other host, MJK.
Hello, everybody.
And today we've got some interesting topics to talk about. First of all, the paranormal. That's going to be our main theme for this podcast. Topics will vary. Let's start with the big bad one. Are ghosts real?
I want to say no. Personally, I just want to say no. I'm just kind of that guy that's like, show me some proof, and then maybe.
Why are you like, no?
I just see so many stage sort of videos or TV shows. I see, YouTube videos like Joe Weller. He does a lot of paranormal stuff, and sometimes it looks real, but I know YouTubers can be very fake.
But yeah, no. But then let me like throw the curveball on you with that one. Where do we go when we die?
Nowhere. Nowhere.
I like the brutal honesty.
I'm sorry, but nowhere.
I like the brutal honesty, but still, that's a bit.
Yeah, nowhere at all. Just we're gone.
Well, this is a very cheery pilot episode.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Well, we don't know if it's true, do we?
That's true. I guess that's why, religion's a thing.
But the concept of the nothingness is far more plausible than, like, the idea of there's a big fucking, like, place in the clouds where people sit and, like, just what are the fuck do they even do in heaven?
I guess they just, well, I don't know. I'm not really religious like that. I guess they just chill out. They're dead.
We're dipping our necks somewhere we don't belong.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright,
let's just revert back to the first question. Are ghosts real? I say no until someone shows me hardcore evidence of a ghost right in front of me. Then I would consider changing my mind. But as far as today, no. Ghosts are not real.
Okay. Have to agree with you, but on a lot more of a definite. I personally do not have any belief in ghosts whatsoever.
Yeah,
I don't. But they are real.
True.
I don't believe they can exist, and I think the general concept is just a stage of grief.
So I just think, sometimes it's coincidence. I guess if things happen,
because
like
you always see people describe ghosts in the same like fucking way. They're all white, and like you know what I mean, like when they're all white.
Yeah, and they're all the same. They're all like, I don't want to say generalized, but
yeah, everyone has the same idea of a ghost, and that's because like what they've seen on TV and shit like that. And it's always someone in random clothing and like a spiritual like aura. But then it makes me think, so when they die, do they just have that clothing with them? When you die, if you're a ghost, does your clothing come with you and turn into ghost clothing?
See, that's the difficult thing, you know?
Yeah. And also, if there's human ghosts, why don't we ever see like ghosts of dogs and ghosts of cats and ghosts of other shit?
See, that's where the thought of like reincarnation would come into it, because they say if you do bad, I'm pretty sure they say if you're bad in your life, you get reincarnated as an animal until you learn right, and then you're back as a human again. What's up, boys? It's me, MJK. Now, hearing this back, I was completely wrong. I googled the rules of reincarnation, and here they are. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the video.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
The concept of reincarnation is quite, like, it's quite dumb when you think about it, because even if it was, like, real, you'd never know.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I just don't. So many things point towards it not being true, like, I don't know. I just think it's all mythical. The real world.
Ghosts or reincarnation?
Reincarnation is. It's always been a thought on my mind. Like, it's always dwelled on my mind.
Because for me, reincarnation could fully well be a real thing, but you'd never know, so it doesn't really matter if it's real or not.
That's the sad thing. That's just one of the mad things, you know. God could be
Because like
real.
everyone's always like, oh, you know, I don't really care when I die. I'll be reincarnated. Well, you won't have any of your memories, so you won't know. You practically would have been wiped from existence.
That's what I mean. Like, if God's real, we are. And then
Yeah.
all these atheists and stuff, man. Oi, oi.
Okay, let's not delve into religion. For
Yeah. All right. Well, still,
I
like,
feel like getting cancelled after the first episode.
okay.
Attack on Titan season 4
Oh.
cancelled.
Oh. Was it cancelled?
What? It's not cancelled, but it's postponed.
Fucking don't scare me like that. Don't scare me
No,
like
it hasn't been
that.
cancelled.
Oh, bro, I was about to shit my jocks. That was holy. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible moment.
Mm.
Oh. What is up, everybody? It's me, MGK. Now, editing this back, I realised me and Herb are completely wrong. The Season 4 trailer has just came out, like, yesterday, a couple hours ago on YouTube, so go ahead and check that out. Well, I knew that it would get delayed or cancelled. I'm expecting it to get cancelled just because how long the manga's still going on.
Mm.
And they still have to animate it, even though they can work from home.
I'm not gonna have any spoilers for it in this, just in case anyone does watch it. But yeah, no, I as much as I dislike the fact that it's everything's postponed during quarantine, I think I prefer it that way because a lot of people are going to be taking like time off and stuff. So I feel like a lot of stuff like anime and films are going to seem a little bit rushed if they don't like cease it altogether for the time being.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree, but I just can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I've been so into Attack on Titan. I watched it once, then I just wasn't into it. I rewatched it and I was hooked
But really,
instantly.
it's a good show.
It's
It's a good
very
show.
good.
Like it's one of those shows. It's an anime, but you don't necessarily have to be into anime to like
It
to
is.
enjoy it.
I would say it's like a ground zero to watch anime. Like
Yeah,
everyone enjoys Attack on Titan
the gateway
and One
drug
Punch
to
Man
anime.
and One Punch Man. It's like a ground zero. I
Hmm.
know a lot of people like One Punch Man.
Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of One Punch Man's story or lack thereof.
I
I
rewatched
like
that.
free action.
I've been rewatching it again on Netflix, season 1.
Season 2 changed up the art style, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Is it bad or what?
It's not.
What are we talking about
It's
here?
not bad. The art style just seems a lot like, how do I say? So basically, you know how like you look at like One Punch Man season 1, and it sort of has the same like animation vibes as like or art style vibes as like Tokyo Ghoul season 1. That same, you know what I mean, right? They're not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
they're not the same like actual like animation quality and stuff wise, but the way it looks.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah. So then picture that, and now picture uh Tokyo Ghoul Re, like the whole the whole
Oh, let's
change
not
up in
talk
the
about
art
Tokyo
style.
Ghoul Re.
Yeah, no.
Oi.
Change in the art style, and then compare it to like the original Tokyo Ghoul, so season 1 and 2. The original art style of that, and then put Tokyo Ghoul
Tokyo
Re next
Ghoul
to
was
it.
so
Think of
good.
that,
It
but
was
then of One
so
Punch Man
good.
season 1 and 2.
I was watching. I wasn't watching. I was just singing the intro to that song in my head. It's just such a good intro song. It's so good.
But yeah, no. So like, picture the art style for Tokyo Ghoul Re, but then put it on One Punch Man and actually give it animation. That's basically One Punch Man season 2. The animation quality is still there, although they didn't show it in the trailer. The animation quality is still there, and it's really fucking good, especially in certain points in the series, in certain points in the season. But just the general art style has changed a bit, and I'm not too sure how I feel about it.
I mean, we'll find out, won't we?
Mm.
I just can't wait. I can't wait. My
Yeah.
Hero Academia season 4 is finished. Season 4, 5.
Season 4 is finished.
Thoughts?
Certain parts were not adapted in ways that I liked, but nevertheless, certain other parts were adapted very well. So let me put it like this: the Mirio versus Overhaul fight. That was really, they did not spend a lot on that. It was not a lot of animation, and they reused a lot of music from other seasons. Whereas scenes like Midoriya versus Overhaul had new tracks, new more animation, more budget. Clearly, had more time spent on it. And then you got scenes like the Overhaul fight. No, I said the Overhaul fight. The Endeavor versus the Nomu fight, which I'm pretty sure most of the season's animation budget went into that, and I'm okay with that because it was a really good fight. It really did deserve to be adapted well, especially because of Endeavor's character and his character development for the rest of the series. But past that, overall, pretty solid season. Pretty solid season. Apart from the festival arc, I did not enjoy the festival arc. It kind of got on my nerves. Didn't feel like it needed to be there. The only reason I enjoyed it because it gave two of my favorite characters screen time.
Oh, thank you, Kaminari.
Yep.
Trash character. Bakugo all the way. Bakugo all the way.
Well, your favorite character is also one of the main characters.
Good point, but still.
Yeah.
Still trash.
Okay, we're not gonna go into that.
No, yeah, we are. He is awful. Awful.
Bro, wait until he controls ability. Next thing you know, because he could technically be one of the strongest. Like, because think about it. Because in my opinion, Tokoyami is the strongest. Because like Dark Shadow is just OP. Because the only fucking weakness to it is just light, and you need a lot of light to get him like really dumbed down. You need like Bakugo's explosions or Todoroki's fire to actually get it to, like, go all the way down. But even when it's like daytime and it's like in its like kind of timid form, it's still overpowering as shit. And we're not even fucking talking about if he ever manages to control it when it's like full pitch black darkness.
I've always had like a sweet spot, or not a sweet spot, but I've always thought he was very cool. And I know he's doing an internship with Hawks now, so he's definitely going to get a lot more screen time, which I'm very glad about. I feel like a lot of the characters just get neglected.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil anything in the manga, for the record. That has been announced in the anime. Alright, let's move on.
Exactly. Okay. Well, let's talk about the podcast then.
Okay, let's talk about what, like, our reasoning behind making it.
Our reasoning, why we did it, why we're recording the episode now.
Okay, alright, yeah.
Origin.
We'll go into detail about why we're recording this now and the certain difficulties before we started recording.
Yes, we will.
Okay, so let's start with why we made this. So, a long time ago, around a year or so ago, we decided at some point in time. Well, no, actually, no. Let me start this from the very, very beginning. The very beginning. I wanted to do a podcast with you and another one of our friends who I won't say their name. Like, what was it? Privacy purposes. I wanted to do it with them and another one of our friends. So just 4 people, and we had this whole big idea and setup for it with like 4 microphones, 4 cameras, everything like that. But then we realized, oh my god, we don't have the money for this, and this is really hard. So the idea sort of like crumbled into ash and burned, and then we met up again with the same friend at his house for just a general like meet-up party, whatever. And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, let's record this podcast." And we did 1 episode there. We did technically we did 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah, we did 2 episodes there, and they went pretty well. But we lost the file, and next thing you know, we didn't have a podcast. So we sagged it off for about a year. A year later, we have another discussion about it, and we think to ourselves, okay, yeah, no, we can actually do this now, because now, like, we're a lot more organized. Like, we have access to Discord, better equipment, and stuff like that.
I do want to also say, throughout the year of just like letting our lights, or not letting our lights, just like that grey area. Oh, you see what I did there, grayscale? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that grey area, we was always saying we should do it, but we never took action. That was the only issue. And now, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So yeah. No, we thought about doing it again, and we actually looked into everything this time. We had it properly organized, and we actually set out to get proper to get proper equipment for it and do it properly. Needless to say, it was expensive. It was expensive, and we got a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a bit like dull because we were shooting our head too far up too early.
You've got to think 4 Turtle Beach, not Turtle Beach. Is it Turtle Beach microphones?
No, not Turtle Beach microphones. It's Blue Yeti microphones.
Blue Yeti microphones, yeah.
4 Blue Yeti microphones.
4 USB cables.
Then cables, lights.
A place to record, so we need to rent something.
Camera, a studio and shit like that, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah, so it's.
And then we realised, oh my god, we could just do this on Discord. We didn't realise that then. We realised that a few weeks ago when we restarted this whole idea. But yeah, no, from back then when we had them, it sort of just died down because we realised that's a lot of money, and we don't have that money. And then life went on, a lot of things happened. I think
yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. We're not going to go into detail about those, though. That's not podcast material.
Yeah, that's private.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Recently, within like the past like week or two, we've been playing a lot of Xbox with our friends, with each other.
Obviously, because of the virus, we can't say the name of the virus.
Oh yeah, no, demonetized.
We ain't even making any money. We just respect the TOS.
Respect TOS because of the icky yucky. We haven't actually been able to go outside and be normal human beings. So we resorted to playing Xbox like
normal kids.
Okay, yeah, normal kids.
Gremlins, bro, what's good?
like normal kids, and we've been talking a lot on there, and it's been really like just a generally positive experience. And we realized, oh my god, we could probably make something out of this. Like we can probably, oh my god, let's do a podcast again for the third time. We had this thought, but this time we're actually following through with it because we realized Discord is a much easier way to do a podcast, and and it's a lot easier because you don't have to worry about money for microphones, or money for cameras, or money for a studio, or money for mufflers, or money for lights. It's just like a lot easier.
All you need is OBS and Discord.
That's it. That's our setup.
OBS, Discord, sorted.
We don't have any special fucking table with any fucking big microphone set up on it.
Ain't going True Geordie with fucking Constantine with a camera, bro. Like going around every angle.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the story of how this came into the world. The story behind why we're doing this now and why there were difficulties before is because of our other host when he wants to show up. Yeah, our other host.
Prick.
He's not a prick. We can't call him a prick.
No, he's a cunt. Prick.
Our other host.
He who shall not be named. Prick.
Let me double check if we can use his name.
Let me call him Prick. Let's just put up the word prick on the screen, yeah? Prick. He's a prick. No, he's
alright. We can say Matt. We can't say that.
Obviously, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, because so basically, we wanted to start this podcast with us three, myself, MJK, and Matt. But unfortunately, because he's just said you've made me look like a right cunt.
What? Yeah, I mean, no cap.
because our friend Matt does not want to currently join the podcast.
Is he even a friend at this point? Let's be honest.
Oh my god, you can't say that.
No, yeah, he's alright. He's alright.
Yeah, because it is technically 12:30. He was like, oh no, I can't
Go get
do it
bedtime.
at-
Bedtime.
I can't do it at 12:30. I've got my side bitches to get to in the morning. not to.
I'm not
you
gonna
know.
say I'm jealous, but you know.
Like, yeah, not to say like he's a pimp or anything, and he's got like bitches at his feet, but he's a pimp and he's got bitches at his feet.
Oh, that's a topic after. Let's talk about feet.
We're not talking about feet.
Alright, carry on. I'm waffling. Carry on.
Yeah, okay. So the only technical difficulty was we wanted to record the podcast now, and he did not want to record the podcast now, and because we told ourselves if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it at all. So we're doing it now without him, and he will hopefully join in the future when he grows a pair of balls.
He's a prick.
He's the whitest man I've ever met in my life. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, that's the only difficulty we had with the podcast.
I don't know. Maybe he's nervous. I don't know.
Stage fright. That's what it is.
Possibly.
He was alright with me posting a video with him clapping his feet on a Discord call, but apparently this is too much.
I remember that. Great times.
Good times. And he also okayed me posting a video calling his girlfriend gay.
No, I swear she said she had a fat boner. I don't know. Anyway, let's just take this time out now. We're 30 minutes in, and I just want to say, if you haven't checked out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MJKstreaming, go and do that. I stream regularly. And if you haven't checked out https www.youtube.com/channel/UCM0OK0JIXL WHFNNM J9UEDVOG, aka Herb, go and do that now.
Or
Alright.
youtube.com/Herb.
No, because it comes up with a weed channel, bro.
Oh, we'll figure it out one day.
Alright, let's talk about the YouTube drama. I want to talk about some old beef. Alright, we are both big fans of the Misfits.
Oh, okay, alright.
Okay, and I would say I am quite I'm not a big fan. I'm a fan of Lunch Club. I do watch Lunch Club regularly.
Of Misfits, I am not much of a fan.
Really?
Of Lunch.
I watch. I'm not. I enjoy most of them, but obviously everyone knows about the Caterino Carson Fitz fiasco. Situation fiasco. But Harry, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts?
The Caterino Carson situation.
Just all of it, and Fitz, and Caterino having.
Right.
So what? We won't talk about how many geezers.
Should start from the beginning, from when it was all announced.
By the way, I just want to say, Caterino was also dating me at this time. I was not aware of the 8 other geezers. Although she did give me syphilis, so
right.
I'll be asking for some money.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start from the beginning, where it all came out that. So basically, Carson was. Do we even need? They probably know. Alright, fuck it. We'll just start.
Definitely, Carson definitely knows. But just if everyone wants a recap.
Yeah, Carson wasn't feeling too good. He didn't seem too happy with his videos. He took a break, and people were starting to ask where he was when he was coming back. And it came out on his Reddit that at some point in time, him and his alleged girlfriend Caterino had separated because it was said that she cheated on him with a certain Mr. Fitz from Misfits.
Slag. Yeah.
We can't name names of what she is. She's a collector. But yeah, that whole situation came out, and then took a while for like the whole story to come out. But when that came out, it opened like the floodgate of like hatred towards Caterino, because when everyone found out that this is what she did, and they didn't respond after about like it was like a week and a half, wasn't it? They didn't respond, so everyone just like figured out it was true, and Fitz and Caterino were bombarded with like just fucking them with like hate and shit.
How dare you, bro? How dare?
Until Caterino released a video where she blamed depersonalization. Now, if anyone doesn't know what depersonalization is, it's essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's essentially the idea that you're not in control of your body, and your body is almost like it's on autopilot, and it does things out of nature rather than out of your own free will.
Yeah.
And
so
that was
yes, bullshit. But we'll carry on.
Okay, well, no, it's a real thing. It is a real thing.
Oh, but the amount of times people have said I have depression as an excuse. I'm not saying that they're lying, but most of the time they just use it as an out. You know, some people may have actual sad thoughts, which, you know,
in the video,
go seek some help.
In the video, it is very clear that she was trying to use it as an out. As much as she says that, oh yeah, no, I don't, this doesn't excuse my actions or anything, it was very clear she was trying to use it as an
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Her video releases, people clock on that, oh my god, she's chatting shit. And next thing you know, the like to dislike ratio becomes a feather and a rock on each side of a scale. I have no idea what it's on now, but I'm pretty sure it's 100,000 dislikes.
Oh, it's over that. It was very over that. She released it like a week ago. It was definitely like 20k over 107 dislikes.
It was about, the whole situation is like 3 weeks old now.
Essentially, Fitz slept with Caterino, although Caterino did say, you know, me and Carson were never a thing.
Yeah,
I just led him on. Yeah, so she lied about that as well.
A little bit after Caterino's video, people were starting to question Fitz about where his response to the whole situation was. He responds, and he's
on Twitter.
He just gives an honest apology, saying that he doesn't deserve forgiveness, but he just wants to make things right between him and Carson. Which, fair enough. Fair enough.
You at least he owned up to it. I can give him props for that. He owned up to his mistake. Parabolics on him, lad.
And although it's not confirmed, it is very clear based on Caterino's other behaviour that we'll go into in a second, that he was told that herself and Carson were not actually in a relationship. And according to other accounts, she would say that her relationship with Carson was a mutual understanding between them, that it was for like mutual benefit. They would boost each other in different ways. Carson would bring a wide YouTube audience to her streams, and she'd bring a wide amount of a Twitch audience to his streams.
Even though Carson was getting more views on Twitch anyway. But, Carson's just that nice of a guy.
So here's where the bit where I said we're getting into it now. Soon after Fitz's apology, it started fucking like a stockpile of different streamers and YouTubers have started coming out saying that they were also in this kind of situation with Caterino and had just stayed quiet about it. Who was it? It was the manager. Her manager apparently was one of her subjects in the grand scheme. There was, the stream was like, "Hey, can I bring my girlfriend? Hey Kate, that guy."
Yeah, TwitchCon.
Yeah, TwitchCon, and there was like two other guys, but I can't really remember their name. And was it the other streamer? Is his name Poseidon? I'm not too sure. You're more educated in the thing. I don't think it's Poseidon. It's Ice Poseidon or something like that.
I couldn't tell you.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure that's his name. He said something along the lines of like, I don't think it's Ice Poseidon. No, it's Greek. Fuck, I'm stupid. Oh wait, no, it's not Greek. Oh, whatever. another streamer said something along
Oh, it
the
was
lines
Great
of,
God X who said while on Raj, he was like, beware of Katerina, she's been around the block.
yeah, no, it wasn't Greek. It wasn't Greek. It was someone else. I don't know what his name is. It might be Destiny. He said something along the lines of like, uh, there's a lot more stuff that the people don't know about Kate, and a lot more like different streamers. Like apparently, let's just cut to the chase. It was rumored she was like speaking to 5 or 7 or 8. The number kept getting bigger. Different dudes at a certain amount of time between around. I think it's around between 2016 and now. I think.
Yeah, probably.
And essentially, what it was seen she was doing, she was flip flopping into different streamers, with bigger audiences than her, uh, dating them, leaving them, going to the next one, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, until she ended up with Carson. And because of Carson's much bigger audience to all these other streamers, it was plain as day that she got caught. She got caught, and the internet had their way with her. The internet had their way with her, and that's basically the whole Carson versus Katerina situation. Not even Carson versus Katerina situation. What happened to Carson? People that caused it. So that's what I mean with like. I personally, as a fan of the Misfits, I think I might be biased for.
I think it would vary either way. Like, obviously, if it's a Katerina fans are gonna be like, "Oh, depersonalization." That's why influencers don't understand how much weight they have on their shoulders, and they can't be blurting out depression.
No, it's depersonalization.
It's true.
Come on.
Oh yeah, but it's depersonalization. Then still, it doesn't. It's the same thing. Like, you can't be blurting out bad excuses. Like, fair enough, if you do, you do.
I do agree that you can blur out excuses like that, but at the same time, that can be flipped on its head and be like, if you can't blur out excuses like that, and you are actually suffering, what are you meant to do?
True.
There's no real answer to that question, because YouTube now has just become like a stalemate of whether or not people think mental illness is a real thing or a fake thing. And I don't mean that in the literal sense, whether they think it's real or fake, whether or not on like the YouTube world, whether or not they think someone is actually going through something, or someone is using it as an out, or using it as an outlet for entertainment. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but I just want to use it as an example. So, Etika. Everyone knows about the story of Etika. Yeah, how he tragically lost his life. But it was clear as day now to anyone who's seen his streams and seen his like episodes that he was going through. I think he was was he diagnosed with bipolar and depression, or is it something else? I'm pretty sure it's bipolar and depression.
Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that and then it be bullshit. So yeah, it was plain as day to anyone who saw his episodes on his stream that he was at least suffering with mental health. But it's plain as day now, after of course the tragic thing happened. But when it was actually all going on, no one could really tell if it was real or not, because he said it himself. He was an entertainer.
Okay, I have a little thing. Following several months that involved Amofa, I don't want to butcher that, Amofa, exhibiting signs of mental illness, as well as threatening to commit suicide on multiple occasions, he disappeared on the evening of June 19th.
Don't need to read the whole thing. Need to know bipolar and depression.
He was unchecked. He never got.
I think somewhere, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm just gonna assume he had bipolar and depression from what I've heard.
He definitely had demons. Let's just say that he definitely had demons.
He was not in a good headspace at all. I think I'm just gonna say it was bipolar because of like certain different.
If we're wrong, we can just put it in the comments or something.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's bipolar from certain different accounts of people who have bipolar that I've heard, and just generally the symptoms that he like displayed from his streams. So yeah, of course, no one could tell if he was putting on this whole act or if he was genuinely suffering, and no one could tell until it was too late. And that's why I feel like YouTube is now as a whole, YouTube and Twitch and like all of the above, is mental health has become such a, what do you call it, like a grey area of what's the word I'm looking for, a grey area of, basically some people use it to the point where it's an out responsibilities, and other people genuinely suffer from it and don't know whether or not it's okay to address it until it's too late. So you have one side that's like dehumanizing, well, not dehumanizing, you got one side that's like really lowering the issues with mental health in YouTube by like making it seem like not as big of a problem as it is, and a fake problem as well, and a problem that like people see as just an out for bad situations. Whereas the other side is getting pushed down by the other side. Oh, this sounds really shit. This is a really shit analogy, but one side is pushing the other side further down, and well, no, one side's crashing and burning, and the other side, and it's bringing the other side down with it. Yeah. So on the one side, you've got the people like Jake Paul and shit like that, who say they go through dark thoughts, like and shit like that. Jake Paul, right? He released a song a few years, like I think 1 or 2 years ago back. Something like, you know, the "When was your
Oh yeah.
yeah, that one. And in the video, he's talking about like how he's depressed and shit like that, and how all the good things he's done about, and because a lot of people were rightfully calling him a knobhead, which he was, and he says shit like that in videos like that, and videos and music videos like that, is pushing down like the actual movement to get mental health more talked about and raise awareness for it in YouTube. It's taking that with it, because like when a YouTuber of that size and an impressionable audience says something like that, the concept of mental health becomes a lot more broad, because he doesn't explain it properly. He doesn't explain it in a medical definition. He just says that he has it. He has young fans who are not going to click with that, and then are going to be like, "Oh, I've had a bad day today. I'm depressed," or "I get nervous when ordering my food. I have an anxiety disorder." And then people like that who are saying shit like that are starting to that new generation of people are starting to, what is it, desensitize the world to the actual seriousness of mental health, and people will now overlook it as a childish thing.
I think with all the I sympathise to a level. When you're crying on your own brother's podcast and you're telling everyone your issues, it takes some balls. But then there's part of me where it's like, you're an actor. He could fake a lot of that shit, and he's done a lot of fucked up shit. He recently fought that kid and he fucked him up. Yeah. And he claims he was drunk, and he's smoking weed on his Instagram, cigars on his Instagram, thinking he's all Conor McGregor when he's gonna get clattered by KSI. Fuck off.
Okay, alright, this isn't about Jake Paul, this is still about mental health, but I get what you mean. But yeah, no, he's not.
I want to move on to that after this.
He's not a good person, and he's like, him using mental health to use it as a defense from criticism is also not a good thing. And that's what mental health basically has become on YouTube, a grey area between people using it as a defense from criticism and their wrongdoings, and they built this little island that's gone crashing and burning, and they're taking the actual mental health awareness movement down with it. That's mental health on YouTube. It's a touchy subject. It's a touchy subject, especially with people like Erica, and like, I can't think of many other like people like Erica, and let's just say Sky Does Minecraft, because he'd suffered with mental health quite strongly. Yeah, mental health on YouTube is a touchy subject. We've diverged quite far from the whole Caterino versus
We have,
Well,
but I'm
okay,
glad. I'm glad we have. I'm glad
yeah.
we've used this time. I want to move on to YouTube boxing. YouTube boxing. This is alright. First question. First question, actually.
Okay.
Do you want to see KSI fight Jake Paul, and why?
I'm torn. At one point, I think he doesn't need to fight Jake Paul. JJ does not need to fight Jake Paul. He's bigger than Jake Paul then in so many more ways. Jake Paul is low key kind of relevant at this point. He hasn't like ever since the Gibb fight finished. He hasn't released anything interesting, nothing of note. He hasn't even had a new controversy worth talking about. Well, he's had a few, but nothing like no major big scandals. He's not worth it. He's not worth the effort of JJ going through all this stuff and training and lowering his music career because he needs to train, putting himself through all the anxiety and stress of losing. Like it's just, I feel like it's too much, too big a risk, too little gain. He's not going to get anything from beating Jake Paul other than pride, and he already has enough of that. But at the same time, I do think it will happen, and I'll still watch it if it does happen. I think it will still happen because of what you call it, just the general legacy of YouTube boxing and how it, what you call it, fucking, what's the name, the legacy of YouTube boxing and how the two brothers like fucking whole story about it with JJ, Deji, and Logan and Jake, especially after the defeat of Gibb in February.
So my thoughts. I think that I agree with the fact that he doesn't need to fight. I don't think he doesn't need to fight. Honestly, part of me doesn't want him to fight just because. I mean, Jake Paul loses. He gets what he wants either way.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight. He's already irrelevant as fuck. No one's going to care anymore.
Yeah.
He fights him. Jake will get a bit of clout. Once he loses, boom, down the gutter. And he's trying to copy his brother with everything he does. All the vlogs, the 5-minute vlogs and everything. It's not working. He needs to do a KSI. He needs to do a Joe Weller. He needs to do a Logan Paul. He needs to fucking reinvent himself. Because he's still Disney Jake. He's still trying to put on a persona when you just need to be real.
I think
You
the
need to be
problem
real with everything.
I think the problem with him is he has two different personalities clashing. And I don't mean that in the serious way that he's got what you call it? He's not a schizo. That's insensitive. I'm sorry. He doesn't have issues, but
Karen.
yeah, but fucking what you call it? I need to stop saying that. But yeah. Basically, he's trying to be for YouTube and everything like that. He's Disney Jake. He's family friendly, really hyper, and just all around the place. But on things like Instagram, Twitter, and etc., and sometimes even on YouTube, he becomes normal Jake, like boxing Jake, where he's smoking weed. He's got fucking like naked girls around him and shit, and he's swearing at people and fucking like just being a general knobhead. And those two clash sometimes, and that's when like you see the controversy spark. And I think that's his general issue. So I don't even think, because it seems like JJ reinvented himself from the old KSI, which was his persona, to JJ, Olajide Olatunji. That's who he is now. He's just himself. KSI is, I say, KSI is just the more hyper version of Olajide Olatunji. Like he's a lot realer now. Same with Joe Weller. Joe Weller was all, what do you call it? Oh, kitty. But now he's like, what do you call it? Real. He's real. He's real. He's a real person, real emotions, and real like topics to talk about. His podcast is fucking great because you can genuinely sit there and you can see this is a person with interesting thoughts. He's got interesting points and interesting thoughts and I'm happy he can express those without someone Buxton like fucking like way of talking.
I don't want to sound like I do sort of see myself in Joe, the fact with the podcast, like he just talks about a lot of things I would talk about. He's very
Yeah,
honest and open.
he,
I enjoy
there's.
that from a creator.
I feel
Enjoy that.
the topics he has on there are a mix between like funny and genuinely interesting that you can dive into, and I do enjoy that. Like the what you call it, the one where it's like, is it okay to let a gay man kiss your girlfriend? I watched the highlight of that video, and that was
No.
jokes. It was so fucking. It was a funny video, and it's something that you delve into. Then you got Logan. Logan was Disney, very Disney. Whole fucking then Japan happened, of course, and he took a break. He took a very long break. Released a mental health documentary, which was a good video, but at the same time, it's hard to tell whether or not that was genuine.
Real, yeah.
Or
I think it may just be just to get the heat off, which I can understand.
I don't want to say he did or he didn't because I don't know. But he released a good video, spread good awareness, so smooths it all over nicely, even if it was bullshit. Then
Yeah.
he rebrands. He rebrands himself, and he becomes the new Logan Paul. And he fights JJ, and like all the cocky attitude he had before is gone. And then he reinvents himself again and becomes a genuinely humble and enjoyable personality. Like I can watch his podcast highlights, and I can't sit through a podcast with him. Not because I have any dislike to his content or anything like that. It's just because American humor and British humor is very different.
I can agree.
Yeah, I can't. I can't sit
It is
through
true.
it.
It's 100%. American people will never get British sarcasm.
No, they don't understand British sarcasm. That's not the necessary. That's not to say that all Americans are like unfunny. Now, I don't know if Jake can do the same as these three people because they've all done the same thing technically. They've ditched their personas and they've become themselves, and they're expressing themselves online, not these personalities that they've made. Now, the reason why I think Jake might not be good at this is because I think Jake's just generally an unlovable person.
Arrogant, cunt. He pays people to be his friends.
Surrounds himself with people through his money to hype him up. Surrounds himself with hype men, essentially.
That is definition of hype man.
Yeah.
I think you pay someone to hype you up.
Like a selfish man child in a way.
I think he needs to surround himself with people he can trust and people that he knows that truly care for him. And then once he does that, he can learn about why do I do this? What do I like? How can I change this into my channel? How can I manipulate? Or not manipulate, that's the wrong word, but
he needs to be hit with a hard-hitting controversy that really makes him think, what do I value in this career? Because look what happened to Logan. Logan had the Japan thing, and then he came back, and he had a real think about what was important to him in his own career. But yeah, no, that's where I stand on YouTube.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Listen, podcast is going to take off. We're the next grayscale podcast. That's what we are. We still got to make a YouTube channel for this, and then I can get rid of this.
Yeah.
But once again, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MJK streaming, where you can catch me live with Herb and Matt.
Yeah. So do we want to end it here?
We can give it 2 more minutes. It'll be an hour, and then I just want to get dead on an hour. Hour's worth of footage. Quick little thing.
Yeah, quick little thing before we leave.
Well, we want to thank you all, or whoever's watched this all the way through. That is
dedicated.
That's that's insane to think that someone would watch a full hour of us ramble on when it's our first ever video. We haven't even thought of a title. I still have to look through the footage to see if it works. If this footage corrupts, I'm gonna be livid.
Yeah.
Livid. I also need to sort out the audio because it does what's the word? Echo a bit. So I need to download the software for that, which I can do quite easily. But aside from that, Harry.
Hello.
When can we when can we expect this video to go out, and when can we expect to record a new episode?
I expect this video to be out within the next 4 to 7 days.
That's if it doesn't
Corrupt.
corrupt. Let's hope.
And the next podcast, we'll probably film the next podcast soon. But whether or not uploading it will take a little bit longer.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get like Matthew in on the podcast, or someone else. We could get no, we won't say his name, but a certain man beginning with a J.
Snapple. He goes by Snapple on my streams, so we can call him Snapple.
Yeah, we'll call him Snapple then. Yeah, certain Mr. Snapple Pineapple on
Ching
the
chong
podcast.
bing wong. Never mind. Completely different.
That's
okay. Well, can I do the outro, or do you want to do the outro?
I'll do the outro.
All right, got you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Fuck. Thank you guys very
Oh,
much.
you sure you want to do the outro, brother?
I'm sure. Thank you guys very much for joining us today or tonight, for wherever you are, for the pilot episode of the Grayscale podcast. This is just the pilot episode, so there might be a few like janky parts, but
we're testing, especially with the audio.
By the time this is uploaded, the Grayscale YouTube channel will probably be a thing. If you like this kind of content, this podcast, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn that notification bell off.
There could be gaming as well. Just want to say gaming, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. This has been the pilot episode of the Grayscale podcast. By the time this is uploaded to YouTube, the Grayscale YouTube channel would have been completed. So if you enjoyed this podcast and you enjoyed our topics and our debates and our rambles, feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on so that you can be notified whenever we upload a new podcast, and expect new podcasts in the future on different hosts sometimes, but will generally be the same host you'll see every time. And furthermore, follow MJK Streaming's Twitch. We stream games on there. We stream ARK. We stream COD. A lot of different things on there. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like. youtube.com/herb. And yeah, that's basically it.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. If you'd like to follow our socials, they'll be in the description as well.
Alright, see you later, boys.
Good night and farewell.